episode is brought to you by Portland Distro. If you like underground music, movies, and more, go to portlanddistro.com for licensed merch, vinyl, CDs, and more. Plug in the discount code 10OFF, TENOFF, for a 10% discount at portlanddistro.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Everything Went Black. You know, social media is good for something, it turns out. Mother of Graves showed up in my Instagram feed, and I was like, oh, this band seems interesting. Cool imagery. So I checked out their music, and I was fucking blown away, I gotta be honest. What makes it even cooler is that my old friend Chris Morrison is also in this band. Chris and I met what seems like 200 years ago in the murky past when my former band, Anodyne, was out touring. And I'm really excited to see that Chris is back in action again with an excellent band. And please check these guys out. I'm going to put links to their Bandcamp in the show notes on the Everything Went Black website. And for those of you who don't know that, there actually is an Everything Went Black website, everythingwentblackmedia.com, where I have show notes, and in those show notes, you can find links for all of the various relevant things that my guests have been involved with. And in Chris's case, I'll have links to their Bandcamp for pre-order and for their other material, so definitely check it out. I can't give you enough reason than just this raving endorsement that this band is awesome and you need to keep your eye on them. Also, I'd like to thank everyone for their continuing support on Patreon. And if you want to support the podcast, go on over to Patreon, Everything Went Black podcast. And for $1 a month, you can support the podcast. And that'll give you access to bonus material, extra episodes. That's what the bonus material actually is we have whole other shows and series that go on Patreon that you only get access on that platform. So for $1 a month, you get access to this bonus material. For $5 a month, you get the same bonus material plus early access to the shows that are in the free stream. And for $25 a month, a bargain at $25 a month, you can become a sponsor of the show. What does that mean exactly? Okay, well, if you have a project, a business, a band, or anything that you want to promote, for $25 a month, I will give you a custom ad read, similar to what I do at Portland Distro. So yeah, you get the ad read plus all the bonus content plus early access to the show, and of course, you can do it for a month, 2 months, a year, whatever you want. It's completely up to you. There's no obligation to continue. Even if you want to just do it for 1 month and get one ad read for that month, perfect. And when you're done listening to this episode, I ask you all to check out our podcasting brethren. Monday, Horrorwolf 666, hosted by Brandon Legion. Tuesday, Into the Necrosphere, hosted by Jackie Smith. Wednesday is Everything Went Black. Thursday is hashtag Necro Thursday. That is the day that Necromaniacs posts, hosted by Mike Scandato, myself, and Jeff Kashid. And then on Sunday, the brand new podcast, Soul Knox. And on Sunday, the brand new podcast, Soul Knox, hosted by my friend Carl Hikara. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Dude, I am really, really happy to be talking to you, man. It's been way too long.
Dude, it's been forever, man. I can't even remember the last time I talked to you. I remember running into you at South by Southwest decade ago.
Yeah, that was probably the last time we spoke, 10 years ago. It's been fucking time flies, man, doesn't it?
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous, man. It's fucking ridiculous. My life is like totally different yet somehow the same.
Oh yeah,
It's
man.
wild. Yeah, dude, it's wild. Oh shit. But yeah, dude, I'm so excited to talk to you, dude. It's cool, man. I've always been following what you're doing and everything, so it's been fucking cool.
I never think anyone is paying attention to anything I do. Honestly, it's like I just kind of do my thing, and like, all right, every now and then I hear from people, and it's cool, and it's cool. I'm glad, I mean, I'm really happy to hear from you because, like, I think like Instagram is when I first found out about Mother of Graves, and I was like, okay, cool. I follow a ton of bands, and
Sure, sure.
and then I slowly started to realize who was actually involved in the band. And I was like, oh shit,
Like, hey, I
dude.
know these guys from way back in the day.
Well, not only do I know you guys, but also I have an expectation that what you're going to be doing is good, you know.
Hell
And
shit, I don't know about that.
no, dude, you're too modest. It's
Uh,
Harakiri was a great band, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like Harakiri guys are doing it again. Then I realized it's specifically it's you, and I was like, okay, cool, like some brutal death metal. But then when I started checking out the songs, I was like, man, this is like really really fucking interesting, man. And
oh, cool.
yeah, and not exactly what I expected, but after I started really absorbing the music, I was like, okay, yeah, this totally makes sense. Because you guys played great death metal, but I know that you
Sure.
guys were you specifically you were into a bunch of other stuff, and what Mother of Graves is all about is very much the kind of stuff I really enjoy, where it's like you can hear a lot of different influences and like a lot of different things in there, but it's still very, very well rooted inside the extreme metal world, you know?
Ah, well, thanks, Mike. Yeah, man. I appreciate that. It's a definite, I don't know about 180. It's definitely different than Harakiri and the technical kind of death grindy kind of whatever we were doing. I don't even know how you describe that more brutal stuff. But yeah, man, I've always been into different stuff. I mean, I grew up on like melodic hardcore and punk and things like that, and like just like heavy metal, it's melodic and things. But yeah, I mean, this band was, I don't know, it kind of came out of nowhere, honestly.
Well, before we really dive into that, like what are all the other guys in Harakiri up to?
Well, Ben's in Mother of Graves. He
Right?
plays yeah, he plays guitar and does all of our recording and mixing. He's like a main songwriter, along with me, like up to this point at least. Kent he's bounced around. He was living in Nashville doing like the country music scene. He was like playing guitar in a bunch of like country bands, like on whatever like the Nashville Strip is. He was doing that for a while, and then he moved out to LA and was doing like band stuff out there. And now I believe he is back in Georgia, like living near his daughter, just kind of hanging out. See, like Matt, I see Matt all the time. We're still great friends. He's not into any bands or anything like that right now. He did the original demo for Mother of Graves back in the day, and he was like, I was trying to get him to be our vocalist, but he didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
So
he's got some voice, man. I remember, I mean, I still run those old Harakiri CDs,
oh
and
damn, nice.
and playing back in the day, our bands playing together live. I was always really impressed by his vocals.
Yeah, man, he was on a different level, like back then, especially with his lyrical content, which was totally different than anything like in the brutal death metal game. And like, yeah, he was pretty vicious, man. So I was hoping to get him to do this, but I understand him wanting to not do it. And we got Brandon, who's amazing now anyway. But then like hardcore guys, we got Nathan. I haven't talked to him too much. I don't know what he's doing. Kind of hanging out. See him every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, everybody's kind of doing their own thing. But yeah, Ben and I are doing this.
Yeah, indie had a really cool scene for many years, man. There's a lot of
Oh
great
hell yeah,
bands from
man.
the area, and like I remember shows being really cool. And some of like my greatest memories of playing on tour have been in that area. You know, meeting all you guys was always like
Oh,
a real high point.
yeah.
You know, it was really cool.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, it was fun back here, man. Back in the days between like indie and then like Jared was doing stuff up in Muncie and bringing bands here eventually, and then we had like the whole Doom thing going on here with Gates of Slumber doing that stuff, and before that, like Burn It Down, and dude, it was hella fun. I mean, it's really cool right now too. It kind of ebbs and flows like everywhere, but dude, it was fun as hell.
Yeah, those two guys are very, very much missed, man. You know, McCash and Jared. You know that's
Yeah,
real. That was real hard to go through that like a few years ago, losing those two guys.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, like Bob Fouts too, man. Like
And
he
Fouts, how
was,
could I forget
yeah,
Fouts? Yeah,
that was recent. I mean, that was just 2020, I believe. Which God, yeah, doesn't seem that long ago, but yeah, man. Uh, Death. That's kind of how this band, Mother of Graves, got started. Was one of our friends died, and that kind of caused the catalyst into the switch to the gloomy melodies that we went into. So yeah. Anyway.
really. So there was like an event
Yeah.
that caused the band that sort of propelled the band into existence.
Yeah. Yeah. So um, Don, who is our drummer, TJ was our original bassist. He's been replaced with Corey fairly recently. But me and Don and yeah, TJ and our buddy Jeremy were in this band called Bullet Wolf back in like we started in like 2007. It was just kind of a fun like heavy metal rock and roll kind of beer, just play the local bars and just have a good time band or whatever. And like Jeremy was like my best friend, like one of my best friends ever. He was our vocalist bass player, and yeah, like so we played for 2007 to like 2016. So like we had this awesome show booked in like downtown Indy. It was a beautiful day. It was like an outdoor stage. I think we were opening for like Big Business and some other bands were on the show. And dude, it was just a surreal day. It was amazing. Like all of our old friends who we hadn't seen forever like came out of the woodwork, and it was just like, man, it felt like we were like tripping or something. It was just wild. It was such a great day. Well, later that night, I go home, whatever, long day, I go to bed, wake up in the morning to a phone call that Jeremy had passed away. So I'm waking up here after like one of the greatest like fun days ever, and my best friend and bandmate, he got in a car accident later that night or
Oh
early
man,
the next day morning, and he like flipped his car or whatever, and he was gone, man. Um, yeah, that fucking sucked. Still sucks. So we were all devastated, Don and TJ, and I was like, so I don't know. He was like one of the first people I was super close to that died. I mean, obviously I had friends die before that and like relatives and things, but like this hit really fucking hard. Like I couldn't function for a couple of days at least. Trying to process it. And then so like eventually we're talking to the guys. I'm like, you guys, we still have to play some music together. Like Jeremy would have been wanted us to keep going, whether I mean, we can't do this band anymore because he was such a piece of it, but we're going to do something. So I'm like, I'm going to get back with you guys like later on. We're going to talk about it. And they're like, I had no idea what the hell I was going to do musically after that, but I couldn't just like stop playing guitar or whatever, writing songs, because it's been a part of my life since like the early 90s or whatever. Um, so I just started like dicking around on guitar, like writing at home. And I was really at that time, like the kind of early, the early 90s, mid 90s, whatever, like kind of Peaceville, kind of whatever. I don't know, like Tiamat and like Catatonia, and like some of that early Edge of Sanity stuff, and just the melodies and that thing, like the sorrow, it was really speaking to me at that time. So that's kind of like what I started like playing on guitar, like around the house. I started playing, just like somber melodies and things like that. And it was really cool for me to do that because I didn't really know how to process grief that well. And I found it was helping me. It was weird. So I was writing this different style of music that I never really wrote before. I mean, rooted in death metal, but way different than what I had done. And yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, well, shit, dude, I'm kind of writing some songs here. I better do something with these. And so I talked to those guys. I was like, hey, we might have something going on. And they're like, okay. But I kind of got stuck, after a while trying to finish some of these songs. So I called up Ben, and I was like, Ben, dude, I got some songs, man. You want to help me finish these? He's got a little home studio. So we went over there, and next thing we knew, we had like this batch of songs, and we're like, holy shit, these are kind of decent. So we decided to try to do something. We didn't really mean to do anything other than, record a little demo and share it with friends. And that was really about all we expected at that point. But it like the influence was definitely a direct result of, our best friend like having a tragic accident, and just that kind of just changed the way I thought about writing music at the time, and it's kind of stuck with me ever since. So yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your loss, man. That's terrible,
Yeah.
and
Thanks, man.
but it's yeah, I mean, sometimes you go through something like that and it really changes the way that you approach everything in your life, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
yeah, so I mean, this new direction, I mean, as at least you're able to channel some of those feelings into a positive outlet, and
Yeah.
yeah, like I definitely pick up on the Tiamat vibe, maybe some Paradise Lost, evoking
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff, and like I
Yeah.
said, it was not, I wouldn't say I was surprised, but I was like taken, like it exceeded all the expectations I had when I first started listening to it, and I had high expectations because I just, I always loved Harakiri, and I was really had held you guys in high regard as players.
Oh
And
man, thank you.
yeah, totally, dude, of course. And then when I first checked this out, I was really, the first notes struck me as like this very deep emotional like thing. And yeah, and then I just started digging in. And this is only, honestly, I think I contacted you like maybe 2 weeks ago, and that was like just days after I started listening to the band.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I'm like very new to the experience of Mother of Graves, but I'm like definitely on board. And
Oh man.
yeah, totally, dude. And I've been like running this stuff pretty regularly.
Hell yeah. That's cool, man. I appreciate that. Like I said, man, we didn't really know like if this was gonna be a thing. And then, it people like we released that one demo song with like Matt, and the response was like, people were digging it. So I was like, okay, I guess we should probably do these other ones. But then he didn't want to do it anymore. So we got Brandon on board, who Brandon's an amazing vocalist and lyricist, and he was he had commented when we posted that demo song, like he was into it or whatever. And when Matt didn't want to do it, I was like, okay, cool, Brandon, you want to do this? And he had been in some local bands around here and doing some really cool things, and knew his voice pretty well, so it fit pretty perfectly. And then yeah, then things just kind of got going. I mean, we somehow got like a record deal with Wise Blood Records out of it, like a brand new label. We were his first release, and somehow that ended up getting us on the Metal Blade Metal Massacre compilation and a bunch of good press and everything. And we're like, God damn, okay. This
Hell
is
yeah,
not
yeah.
what we expected, but okay.
Yeah, I saw that Metal Blade Metal Massacre thing, and I was like, damn, I didn't even realize they were still doing those comps.
Yeah, they brought that back like for I don't know why they brought it back, but they did. And Albert at Decibel was like helping curate it,
Oh
and
wow.
he's got yeah, he had a relation. He still has a relationship with Sean, because Sean also writes for Decibel. And Albert apparently heard like our track and was like, hey, put them on it. I guess I don't really know how that happened, but it did, and we're grateful.
Yeah, the old ones were sick. That's how I found out
Oh,
about a ton of bands, back in the
oh
day.
hell yeah, man, dude. Like between those and just like whatever random like CD compilations would come in, like Sound of Death magazine or whatever random magazines I would pick up. Oh man, I got turned on to so much stuff.
SOD ruled, man. That was like my favorite magazine to read. And
Dude, it was great.
that guy tried to do a different, like I remember like that when SOD ended, there was the guy tried to start up like another zine, and he put out a couple of issues, but it kind of just like went by the
Oh
wayside,
man,
I think.
I'll remember that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just remember collecting. I had a huge stack of the SODs like in my room or whatever, and they all came with like a compilation CD that when like half of the shit was just fucking terrible, but some of it was like super awesome. I think like that was like one of the first times I heard Twilight by Edge of Sanity, and I was just like on Twitter yesterday talking about this song, and it's like my favorite death metal song of all time. And I got it from like some random crappy like promo CD in a magazine.
It's like that. That is definitely part of a different era than we're in right now.
Oh,
So
I know, yeah.
I just remember you would find there was one. I specifically think of a record store that was in Oklahoma City that I can't remember the name of it, but for a time I found myself in Oklahoma City quite a bit, and like one year it was really funny. Like I actually played in Oklahoma City like 4 times in that year. And not only that, but we stayed at the same Red Roof Inn, and like I remember checking into the to the hotel, and then them being like, "Oh, welcome back, Mister Hill," and like, but at that there was a record store that was next to this venue called the Constellation, and
Hmm.
they had great record selection. They had all the things you'd want to buy, but they always had the new issue of SOD and like mad like back issues. So I used to go in
Hell
there and
yes.
buy. Like, I have like I don't know. I got a ton of those, and they were always great to read. And I found out about so many bands, and there was a lot of interviews and articles of bands I already knew about, and the compilation CD was pretty cool. Even though
Yeah.
even though some of the bands were like kind of iffy, like a lot of the stuff was really good though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's like, bands who probably shouldn't be putting out a demo that bought their way onto some of those compilations, I'm sure, but there's some decent stuff on there.
All right, so let's just go through like some of the stuff. You guys, the first release came out. Like I'm looking at, I'm doing my research here, and so
Yeah.
2019 was the single, the Afraid single. Now
Yeah.
the demo that you're referring to, was that properly pressed onto anything like cassettes, or was it just
No.
something that was like on Bandcamp or on your online? Like what was the deal with the
Yeah.
demo?
Yep. I mean, the demo was basically just one song, like that in Somber Dream. Well, if you want to count it Braid, it's like a demo. I don't know. We put that out there. But in Somber Dreams, it was like a unfinished mix. Like we hadn't like mastered it or anything. It was just kind of Brandon like threw down some vocals, and we thought it sounded good enough and put it out there just to get just to get it out there. So that's it. Just a single track we put out there on Bandcamp, and I think we had it up like on Spotify and other places for a little bit, but we took it down after a while. But yeah, we never pressed it or anything. We just did that because we were about done. I mean, we were trying to figure out if we were going to do an EP or if we were going to like write a few more songs and release an album at first. But we talked to Sean and just decided to put out that EP, which came out in January 21, I think. I don't know. I'd have to look at like the internet to find out.
Yeah, well, I have 2021 as the date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we put that out. And I started writing songs back in 2016, like soon after Jeremy passed. Like he passed in March, and I still have voice memos on my phone from like the following month of like some of the riffs that are on the EP and also on the album. Like there's a whole song I wrote way back then that's like it's called Rain. I think it's the second song on the album. But yeah, so yeah, we just got a great response from the EP and kept fucking writing, man.
Now that EP is also on Wise Blood Records, right?
Yep. We're super happy with Sean, man. He's such a cool dude. I mean, it's not like I've had a lot of record deals, but God, he's so easy to work with, and he's like community first and like band first, and he'll pay you, he'll like keep you in the loop as to everything that's going on. He'll be straight up if stuff's not going right. He's amazing. He's just a great dude.
I'm not familiar with Wise Blood, so what other releases do they have out?
Oh man. So I'd have to look it up too, but he's put out a band called recently. Well, he has a split coming up. It's like 4 thrash bands like Wraith, and he put out and Grave Rippers on that. And Grave Rippers another band from around here in Central Indiana. They're playing like cool melodic like blackened thrash. Like
Oh,
they're
cool.
fucking great. Yeah.
Like Dissection or something like that.
More like that, but more thrashy.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely check him out if you can. He's put out some cool stuff. Oh, he recently put this hardcore band in Seattle, Turian, I think is their name. Kind of like stuff like when we were playing stuff like in the early like 2000s, man. Like they sound like they could have been back from then. Kind of, I wouldn't say they sound like Dillinger or Burnt by the Sun or anything like that, but like they give me that same vibe. Just kind of
Okay.
chaotic and kind of kind of fun. So I mean, his label's kind of got a mixed genre. He's also got just some straight heavy metal bands on there. Everything he's put out's been quality. It's good stuff,
I
man.
see he's got a Demiricus record on there.
Oh yeah, he did the cassette version of that. Because another local label, I guess I don't know if they're local anymore, did the vinyl, but yeah, he definitely did the cassette version of that. We actually got to play their CD release show. That was our second show ever, which was fun.
Yeah, I just while we were talking, I pulled up the Encyclopedia Metallum
Yes.
entry they have. It's like a brand new label. It's like his earliest release is 2021.
Yeah, that was us. We were the first one.
Yeah, that's what I see. It's like I'm like, damn, this is like some brand new shit. So that's cool.
Yeah, no, and he's already getting a foothold. He's a good dude, and like he's respected. So like he's getting some good bands and like getting some traction. I'm super happy for everything that he's doing with the label. It's great.
So I mean, it's on my radar now. So I'm gonna try to dig into some of the stuff that he has out for sure.
Yeah. I told Sean that I was doing this, going to be talking to you today, and he said that he had met you back when he lived in New York a while back, in passing maybe.
Yeah.
And he was just talking about how you were quite intimidating.
Oh man,
which I thought was funny. I was like, dude, well, I mean, yeah, he kind of looks intimidating, but he's a sweet dude.
It's unfortunate. You know what I mean? I try not to.
No, dude, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I love it.
So you were saying about writing. Now these days, there's all sorts of resources available to write songs and make demos. Like do you take advantage of any of that stuff? Like when you're writing music?
Like me personally?
Yeah, as far as like all this computer stuff that they have now, like you can make using like Easy Drummer and all this like software and stuff like that.
I lean on Ben when it gets to that point. Like me, like when I come up with my song ideas, I will just record them into my phone on my voice memos, and that's basically it. I have Bandcamp like on my laptop, and sometimes if I get a hair at my ass, I'll like fire that up and like try to like put something together. But no, man, when I come up with something, or Ben or whatever, we'll go over to his house and just hop in his little home studio and start laying down tracks. And that's actually like we write, and it ends up being the stuff that we're writing, we turn it into the album actually. It's kind of wild. We'll do things with just like a simple electronic drum beat or whatever, and then bring Don in with a click track and make him play the drums to it.
It's funny. That's exactly what we do.
Yeah, are you serious?
Yeah, that's the same process. That the last two releases that we had, we just basically had a demo that we did in Pro Tools. And a lot of the stuff is I started here in the apartment and just started writing it with fake drums and a click track, and then little by little we expanded. And that same session is what ended up being sent to the studio. And then we just started, because there was every now and then there's like some thing that you want to keep, like maybe it's like some weird noise or like a synth part or something that we just left it in from the demo part, and then it became the final record, and it just builds from there. And it's kind of cool how that happens these days.
That's exactly what we did. I mean, we recorded these like songs basically as demos, thinking, we're gonna have to re-record this all the way down the road, but then so why the fuck do we have to do that? This sounds pretty good. So of course we went in and maybe like fixed a few things or whatever, but yeah, it's really cool to be able to do that too, because Ben lives right down the road from me. Like I hop over to his house on weeknights, I'll put the kids to bed or whatever and go to his house, and we'll stay up late like working on songs, just adding layers and things like that. And God, why do we want to like have to go back and redo that somewhere when we already did it?
Now, does Ben actually, is he involved in the full production, like when you guys do the album, or do you take it to a studio?
No, man. We did. Well, for this, since we don't have like a good drum room or whatever, we recorded the drums at a studio here locally, 1857 Studios. And then we took the drum tracks and took them back to his house and his home studio, and everything else was done in his house. Even vocals, all the guitar tracks, all the bass tracks, just everything but the drums.
That's the way to do it, man. There really is no reason to like for overdubs. Drums, absolutely. Yeah. I can see the value in having like a really good drum room and like awesome preamps, because you're you're recording an acoustic instrument, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
a lot of it is like atmosphere, the room, ambience, like things like that. Especially, I guess you
Yep.
guys are playing a little bit slower tempos, so like having like a nice drum sound with the decent room is probably
Exactly.
a big element to it. But
Yeah.
guitars and vocals, man, these days it's like, especially with like reamping and stuff, it's like you can just there's no reason to spend big money in a studio where you're not utilizing the entire facility.
Exactly. Exactly. We don't have a bunch of money. We're not like trying to spend a bunch of money on this. I don't want to sit in the studio paying, whatever per hour, like with me just like fucking up, not being able to play something. Just, when I could go to Ben's house and just, okay, I'm not feeling it. I'll be back tomorrow. But yeah, like the drums, like we wanted like big room kind of sound, like reverb, which I mean, we're still using effects on it or whatever. But yeah, and like the amount of sounds you can get just sitting there at home is fucking amazing, man. Like, we used like amp modeling, I guess. I don't really
Yeah.
know exactly what yeah, we used some stuff based off like Mesa Boogies, we like some PV stuff. And I mean, just everything's at your fingertips. It's so easy. It's crazy. So I remember like back recording the albums with Harakiri, booking a studio for like 3 days. Like, okay, we got to get all these songs done. You guys better be on your shit.
I thought I would never, like 10 years ago, I would never thought that I would say that, oh yeah, amp modelers are cool.
Yeah,
But they are. They're like,
dude.
I remember Scott Hull was like the first person I talked to about, recording, like doing these kind of like electronic, versions of things. And he was like way on board with like amp modelers. Like probably he was at the cutting edge with that stuff with Pig Destroyer. And
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I remember having conversations with him, and I was like, I don't know, man, this is kind of weird. I like having amps, and it's just like, honestly, dude, what they have available right now is pretty awesome. I think.
I agree. It sounds fantastic. I don't know if I could make my live amp sound like that with a mic in front of it. Maybe, I don't know. Um, I don't know if I could ever switch to doing that in a live situation. I like to have an amp with like knobs, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never played like a live modeling amp situation, but
Oh, like one of those like Kempers or Fractals or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah. Hmm.
some people love them. I just don't. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. I need a actual physical amp that I can like break.
Yeah. There has to be that element of danger of it malfunctioning. I think you know what I mean.
Oh, dude. Yeah, dude, my 6505 blew up. Something happened our very first show. Like we were like four songs into our like short set, and it started crapping out at the end. And I was just I beat my guitar up. I was like bloody fingered. I was just like rage playing. Like they switched out my amp, but it was just like some other amp that just was not doing my sound. It was a fun show though. Like I really hurt myself though. Like, I was like
Yeah.
punching the guitar and everything. I was so fucking mad.
I'm not quite sold on the Kempers and all that. A lot of people, like you were saying, a lot of people really
Yeah.
live by those things. And I think maybe it's a different style of music. Like the more technical kind of bands, like Archspire and stuff like that. They're really into that.
Yeah.
You know.
I could see that. I could see that. I mean, I just started getting into like with this band. Like I never had a pedal board before, and now I finally have like a pedal board with like some cheap ass effects or whatever. But I'm starting to get into equipment a little bit, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely the music you guys are playing lends itself to effects and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I just run delay and reverb really, but it's still fun to mess with.
Yeah. So the first full length,
Yes.
that's where the shadows adorn. Now
Yep.
I've heard the record. Thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
I've heard there's some tracks available right now, but let's talk about the album and when that's actually going to be available for full release.
All right, yeah. So it's pre-order now. We've had one single like release that's out there available to listen to, and there's going to be another one coming out on September 14th. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who's putting that one out there, but it'll be announced soon. But then, yeah, the album is slated for release on October 14th. Hopefully, the vinyl gets pressed and everything in time to ship out. I'm not sure. There might be a slight delay on that because that seems to be the way things happen these days. But yeah, October 14th, Wise Blood Records, Where the Shadows Adorn. I'm excited, man. It's been a long time coming.
I'm really excited to hear something new from you, man. Like, you know, a full length, like full blown, fully actualized thing. You know, that's pretty awesome.
But yeah, thanks, man. I'm excited for it too. Like I haven't had an album out since. I mean, well, I guess I had like a Bullet Wolf thing, but like the last, not major, but like God, 2002 was when the Harakiri last Harakiri full length came out. You know, on Willow Tip, and like you know we did some touring and stuff. I don't know if we're gonna tour now, but yeah, man, like it feels good to be doing stuff again. I've been doing this for a long time, you know, as you know.
Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in the band besides Ben that I might know?
Um, you know, I don't think so. I mean, I'm trying. You know what? So Brandon, I told Brandon I was doing this. He said that he talked to you when you guys played here. His band Summon the Destroyer, I think, opened for you guys. I
Oh
think you
yeah,
guys played here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So he
remember
he
them.
does. Yep, he's vocal. He still is vocals for that band. I don't know if they're very active right now. So you might have met him in passing. Corey actually plays bass for them too. So I mean, he's our bass player now. Plays in Summon the Destroyer as well. So you may or may not have met him in passing. Yeah, super fucking cool guys though. You'd love them.
Yeah, well, you know, they're friends with me, and probably,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, we all have we're like-minded people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You know, you wouldn't feel bad about letting us crash on your kitchen floor or whatever.
Absolutely, man. We've done it before. It would be the first time.
Well, I know exactly, dude. We remember that fondly, man. We talk about it all the time.
Actually, since you mentioned it, I think Internal Bleeding might have played that show. Remember we played.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Yes. Do you remember what club was that? Do you remember? I have no idea.
Now
Like,
we're really we're going out there. The Voodoo Lounge, maybe, or the.
yeah.
You know, it's fun. Actually, I do remember the place. It was either that place or Castle Heights.
Ooh, I think it might have been that place. That sounds
Castle
familiar.
Heights. Yeah, that's the spot. That was like
Yeah.
this metal, like hardcore. It was in Queens, and it was like kind
Yeah.
of way out in the outskirts. And it was definitely Castle Heights. And that was like,
Wow.
I used to live right down the street from there, and I remember seeing a bunch of shows over the years. Well, I only lived there for like a year, but like I would go there when I moved to Brooklyn, and yeah, I saw like Mastodon played there. Like there was a period of time where a lot of bands on Relapse ended up playing there. So I saw Mastodon, Burnt by the Sun.
Nice.
I mean, that's how long ago we're talking that Mastodon
Yeah,
was
yeah.
playing in a room that fit like 100 people. You know.
Man, I love that early Mastodon when I saw him at we played one of those some like I don't know, whatever hardcore fest that was out on the East Coast somewhere. I don't know. But they played like the small room, like, and they just fucking blew my mind. It was so amazing.
Yeah, that same room I saw Today Is a Day. You know, we played there a couple times, but mostly it was like bands like Marauder and like Stormfront
Yes.
and those types of bands played at that venue.
Oh, that's wild, man. So yeah, we must have stayed at your place. Like that was close to there then, because I remember getting kind of lost. We like went on a subway adventure and it ended up like in like Times Square, and we had no idea what the fuck we were doing.
Actually, we did a few dates together because I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like doing like I don't know, like a long weekend or something. So we played a few shows. We played that show in Queens, and I remember the next day we saw Morbid Angel.
Oh yeah, I missed that. I think no, I think that's when we went out and got lost in NYC, and like I think you and Kent and maybe like whoever else was with us. I think we had like some roadie people going along or something. I think
so
you guys
weren't there. Oh, okay.
So no, we decided to go explore, man. Like we went and got lost in the city and just like did stupid shit like peeing on the subway and whatever we were doing.
Yeah, because I remember it was the day after we all played. The Morbid Angel was playing because they were on tour at Pantera.
Yes.
And it was an off night from that tour, and they played at this place called like the Voodoo Lounge or something. It was like way. It was almost in Long Island. Like it was far. It was far away from where I was living, and relatively small club. I remember it was the Gateways to Annihilation tour because Rutan was in the band, and Tucker was the vocalist, and it was fucking awesome. It was like seeing him play in a small club like that. It was like really cute.
Man, in retrospect, I should have went and saw that instead of going to whatever dive bar we ended up going to. Man, I don't know what we were doing. It was still fun though, memorable.
Yeah, totally, man.
I don't remember where else we played. I mean, I feel like we played with you guys fairly often. I think we were in Boston at least sometime together, like with that crazy Robin dude. And
oh yeah. Robin's his merch company is actually one of the sponsors for this podcast.
Oh no shit, dude! I haven't talked to that dude in forever.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that dude was wild, man. That guy was like such a fun storyteller.
He's doing pretty good, man. He's got this merch company that he's doing. He's getting married again in October, and
nice.
Of course, I'm going to the wedding. You know, he's like,
hell yeah.
One of my oldest friends, man. That dude, like he and I have been through so much stuff, man, together, and he's just like one of these guys that's just always in my life, you know, which is cool.
Oh, that's so awesome, dude. Like, yeah, like we stayed at his house like a couple times way back then too. And, oh my God, it was just wild. And on things I probably shouldn't talk about, like on a podcast or whatever. But yeah. Anyway.
No one's listening, man. It's just me.
I don't want my kids to hear, man. Awesome.
So do you guys have any merch or anything like that for sale? Like on from Bandcamp or something like that?
We've got some old stuff up there right now, but I just this morning placed an order for some new killer long sleeves and short sleeve t-shirts for everybody's wearing fun. So yeah, no, I should have some cool shit up there in a couple weeks.
I'll keep
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, man, they look pretty badass, and we're probably gonna do some like package stuff with like some of the albums. We'll do like a shirt and album kind of combo package for a discount or something like that.
You know what's funny? You know, I don't know how you feel about this, but there are some bands that are long sleeve bands, and some bands are short sleeve bands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in my mind, when I was asking you about the merch, in my mind, I'd already made a decision that I was going to buy a long sleeve for you guys. Like you guys are like a long sleeve band.
We're definitely a long sleeve band, man. Definitely. I don't know why, but yeah, you know, we made some long sleeves for the EP, and they sold really fast. And I like actually wear one. I never wear my own band shit like anywhere, but I wear that long sleeve because it's pretty cool.
You know, every now
do you wear your own stuff? Yeah.
Sometimes.
Do you wear your own stuff?
Yeah. You know, that's like a European thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of bands from Europe will wear their own merch. I don't know if you ever you know, picked up on that, or like old school like thrash thing, like Dave Mustaine. Like there's the Peace Sells video where they're all rocking Megadeth t-shirts in the video.
I mean, I could see it like if you're on tour and like you like don't have any clean clothes, you just pull a shirt out of the merch box or whatever. But yeah, dude, I just never did. Like it was just like taboo. But I don't really give a shit anymore. I'm 45 years old, man. I don't care.
Yeah, I kind of every now and then I'll wear like, you know, if we're overseas, I'll do it. Like it's funny. It's like I won't do it in the States because I feel like a dork. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
But if we're like traveling over in Europe, then then it feels like it's like I have like free reign to do that, you know.
I'm gonna bring it back, man. I'm just gonna do it.
Just like sweatpants, like sweatshirt, like the whole rig, you know, like a hat.
Oh, dude, sweatpants. That's a good call, dude. Like I don't know, people. Like, I see bands all the time doing like athletic shorts and stuff. I'm like, man, that'd be kind of cool. I don't think Mother of Graves is like an athletic shorts kind of band.
Actually, you'd be surprised the bands that have slam shorts. Like yeah, like a lot. It's just like. It's like people just want them now. It's like bands that you would like originally in my mind, like bands like Devourment or something. That's like a shorts band, you know, or like Internal Bleeding. We were talking about them, or like Waking the Cadaver, like the bands like that. But nowadays, it's like everyone has shorts, you know.
I gotta get on the shorts train then.
Yeah, the shorts. I think that would be a welcome addition to the merch game. You know, sweatpants, all that stuff. It all sells, you know.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take a little note here and get back to the merch company and order some shorts and sweatpants. Hey man, can you use the same screens and just hook it up on some sweats?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, I'm definitely looking forward to, getting this thing out there. I'm going to check back on your Bandcamp and see when you got the new shirts and everything. And yeah, thanks for
Oh
coming
yeah,
on. Thanks for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
dude. Thank you so much. Great to talk to you again, man. It's been too long. Let's not wait so long next time.
Totally, dude. And if you guys ever have any plans of coming out east or anything, definitely make sure I'm involved somehow in that.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Awesome. Okay, yeah. We'll hopefully have some news on that after the album comes out. We're kind of waiting for that to come out, and then we're gonna make our plans. We got some things in the works. Hopefully, it all falls in line. So we'll see.
And before we go, can you just give everyone like where they can find you on social media and your official Bandcamp, and any relevant information about the band that you want people to know? Just let us know about
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, okay. So we got a new album, Where the Shadows Adorn, coming out October 14th. You can follow us on Bandcamp, motherofgraves.bandcamp.com. We got an Instagram page, at Mother of Graves, I believe it is. You'll find us if you just kind of look for it. Facebook, same thing. And we got a Twitter too, at Mother of Graves on there, So, appreciate everybody checking it out. If you like doom and gloom and death metal, I think, maybe something there to listen to. But
And I'm going to embed the your Bandcamp in the show notes for this, so that people
sick, dude.
can pre-order. And everyone out there, some of you guys might not know that there's actually a website for this podcast called Everything Went Black Media. And because some people have asked about, because a lot of times I'll do these playlists and stuff, and people are like, well, where do I find these playlists? And I'm like, well, you got to go to the website. So if you go to that website for this episode, there will be embed links for all this stuff, and you can pre-order. Put a pre-order in for this record, and you can order the EP and all the other stuff that they have on Bandcamp. And so yeah, it's just fucking buy that shit. Do yourself a favor.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Chris. Have a good night, man. Take care.
All right, dude. See ya. Thank you.
All right.